Aliens vs Predator, a genre that has always been with me since I was a child, whether it be in films or video games of which I have been entertained many a time. Whether they're together or separate, we have been spoiled for choice in the film industry. However, there are of course some films in this particular genre that could have done with huge improvement in terms of story development.
Okay, pussy face. It's your move. Shit happened.
The writing.
Why do you call it the Predator?
It's a nickname. You know, the data suggests that it tracks its prey, exploits weakness, seems to, well, enjoy it. Fuck yeah.
Can't see shit. In terms of choices for games, we haven't been so fortunate in some aspects either. From the top of my head, we've had Aliens vs Predator Classic 2000, Aliens vs Predator Extinction, and Predator Concrete Jungle. These are all great games, but they are a little dated. In their heyday, they were very entertaining and can still be for the most part, but you have to use an emulator, which on one hand I'm glad is an available option, but in the other I've been used to high quality games in terms of display for years now, which is a terrible truth. But because of that, using an emulator for a 20-year-old game or so can be quite distracting and off-putting, to put it bluntly. But there is one game that's over a decade old and still holds its head high, and is in my opinion an extremely underrated game. That of course is Aliens vs Predator 2010. I remember first hearing about this game back in 2010, and a week later my brother came into my room with the very same game in his hands. He was never one for the multiplayer, and didn't much care for the Marine campaign. That's not because he thought the multiplayer sucked or the Marine campaign did, but he just wanted to do the Alien Predator campaign more than anything. Because of that, he was pretty much done with it within a week, and once he was, he let me play on it. I was all about the Marine campaign. I wanted to shoot shit and ask questions later. I was a goddamn Marine as soon as I touched that game. The game starts with the same cutscene no matter what campaign you choose of Wayland opening an ancient temple which has now caused a massive blast into space, probably signalling to the owners of intruders, and if I know anything about the owners... yeah, they're not going to be best pleased. This kind of reminds me of the Alien vs Predator movie with the pyramid.
What are you doing?
Bitch, I'm eating! I was blown away of how much I loved this game when I was younger. It blew my mind and made me realise that this genre needed to be revived, and this is what so many fans have been longing for ages.
For gaming, it's just heaven, man.
So without further ado, let's tell our parents to
get the fuck out of my room! I'm playing Aliens vs Predator 2010.
Then turn the lights off and play some Aliens vs Predator. The Forgotten Gem. First I'm going to start with the campaign, and what I was going to do originally was do all the Marine campaign together first, then the Alien campaign, and etc. But I figured I want to make it a bit more exciting and try to see if I can get all three campaigns in the best chronological order as possible. So I went online and found a website called avpgalaxy.net, and I'm going to be using this reference. If this isn't the best way, I do apologise in advance. I haven't played this game for a while, so I'm solely going on the basis of what the comment says, as I believe it to be the most plausible. In terms of the difficulty, I have to make an announcement. When I was good at this game 11 years ago, I completed both Predator and Alien campaign on Nightmare. The Nightmare difficulty is terrifying. If you die, you have to restart the entire level again.
You serious?
I bet you're wondering about the Marine campaign. No, I could never do that on Nightmare. No way. Way too hard. So I did that only on hard. 11 years later, I am going in with forgotten eyes and a lack of confidence. So I will be playing this on a fair, normal difficulty.
Pussy.
So we start off with the Alien campaign, in which the alien we play is born in a testing facility. And what better way to introduce a character than the old classic chest extraction? This is the tutorial level for the alien, and there isn't much to do. The controls are relatively simple, as well as adaptable, so it's not too basic. You have a strong attack with the tail, a light attack with the alien's claws, and of course the brutal grab, which is essentially like a fatality or an assassination, in which varies depending on the scenario and the victim. The alien we play is called 6, in which game developers for some reason throughout the entire year of 2010 were obsessed with the number 6.
Number 6. I remember this one.
Nova 6.
You're riding with me, Noble 6.
Once the tutorial is over, we are shown the queen of the aliens who was captured by Weyland-Yutani, and it calls out to you. Try to escape, but Dr. Groves knocks you unconscious.
Gas it.
The blast from the temple acted as an EMP in the lab, and 6's restraints are disengaged, and off I go on my killing spree of defenseless victims. I also like how each objective given to me, the game shows a short footage of the alien queen, as if she's the one giving me the instructions, which essentially she is. It's much better than just your standard bullet point mission objective, even if it's just a small detail. I like it a lot. This level is pretty fast paced, as it has pretty much gone from 1 to 100 very quickly. I rescue my homies, kill some more enemies, avoid getting shot by the turret, and kill some artificial soldiers with that classic white blood, which you can only get from robots, which Parker established back in 1979. Am I right, Parker?
It's a robot. Ash is a goddamn robot.
Yes, he is. I destroy the last line of defense and security and release the Queen's restraints and escape the laboratory with the rest of the crew. That's it for level 1. After each level you are given a rating, which I kind of like. If you're playing shit, you'll want to improve, as the game won't give you a badass title for your overall rating. And me being the completionist I am, I really like the idea of the completion percentage on the right part of the screen. It makes me want to try and get 100%, which again is another small detail that I like that makes a pretty big impact. Now that there's been an outbreak with the Queen on the loose, the Marine Corps have been sent in, because for them, it's
Just another bug. No good, Rico.
For those of you that enjoy stealth kills, luring enemies and evading being detected, this level is for you. However, for those of you who don't know already, I am not one of those players.
Will I be lucky enough to get a gun, however?
Even so, I enjoy playing through this level and to try and do it as stealthily as I can. Then if I'm spotted, I don't feel bad, don't feel like I've failed, because at the end of the day I'm not playing Chaos Theory, I'm a fucking alien killing some marines with huge guns. As long as they're dead by the end of the conflict, I am satisfied. Plus, I do like some of the assassinations in mid-combat. They are absolutely brutal. Anyway, after you clear the sewers, you end up in a garage, and the objective is simple. I love the freedom you get in this area. You can do it quietly, without being spotted, taking out one by one, hissing and tormenting your victims, or you can go full rampage. It's not a deactivate shield or rescue NPC kind of objective. It's a, here's a room filled with a variety of enemies. Here's the controller, now have fun. Even though the area isn't massive, and I get that, it's enough to have the replayability to make you want to try it differently. Now I'm coming to the point now where I'm realising the alien missions are very, very quick. That one in total only took about 7 minutes to complete. Yes, it's on normal, it might take a little longer on harder difficulties, but they are going very, very quickly, so that's not really the best way of doing these campaigns, but I'm not too fussed about it at the minute. Now that we've covered some of the alien campaign, let's check out what it's like to shoot some aliens instead as the rookie marine. We start off in a ship in pursuit to the colonised planet BG-386, where the alien outbreak has occurred, and we're not the only ones who have been notified of this.
Shit.
So as shit hits the fan, we strap in and have some good old Marine banter.
What's the matter, rookie? Didn't they cover this in simulation?
Oh, hello there! When I first played this level when I was a kid, I cannot tell you how much it terrified me. The introduction for the Marine campaign has been done so well in this game.
Let's take a look inside.
Got something. Movement right on top of us.
Contact!
Now you wake up alone in the dark, with your squad probably all dead. All you have is a gun, flashlight, and some tequila. Word of advice, best way to play this game is all the lights off and to not be disturbed. That way you are invested and on the edge and immersed, especially in the role of the rookie, because essentially you are a rookie to this game the first time you play it, especially as the Marine. So our first objective is to try and get out of the garage and turn the power back online, and in the meantime we only have this very realistic shit flashlight that gives off hardly any light but just enough to see where you're going in the dark, which I like that they've chosen to go that route, not to make it too bright, otherwise the hostility isn't as frightening, the tension and the build-up is less tense and dramatic. But you are also given an unlimited amount of flares that give extra light for a limited amount of time, which you'll be using a lot, and be thankful there is no limit, believe you me. For those of you who are a fan of the Alien films, you will know the classic radar appearance and the sound. Just like any other radar, the closer the dots are to the sensor and the louder the noise, the closer a presence is near your person. So with the disturbingly frightening radar and the borderline justifiable flashlight, we venture forth to open the garage door, and we head outside, in which you can breathe a sigh of relief. You're no longer in the darkness, but this is only for some time. For fuck's sake. Once back inside, we head into the control room of the facility and turn the power back online.
What happened?
And have our first interaction with the Xenomorph.
Close it.
Oh, shit!
With certain guns you can shoot with the right trigger like any other FPSs on console, but you have an alternative fire, which is a 3-round burst for the pistol, for example. Combat is pretty good and helps with players like myself that have never been good at blocking or counter-attacking in video games. During a conflict with an enemy as the Marine, it will tell you to press LB and RB simultaneously to block and at the right time. Then it will tell you to press RB to counter-attack at the right time. I like this fighting style a lot. It's completely different to anything I've ever played before. You don't see it anymore, maybe because people might find it a bit outdated, but for me, I really do enjoy it. I like that you have to get your hands dirty and hit the fucking alien on the floor, then shoot it. It's just brilliant. On my way to meet up with Tequila, I'm about 10 minutes into this level, and you might be thinking, gee, where are all the predators at? In this game, predators are much harder to kill and there's less of them, as they spend much of their time tormenting their prey during the hunt.
I'm picking up movement ahead of you, and it ain't friendly.
As I head back inside, I find an audio diary. These are the Marines' collectible items scattered around each level, where you can find out more information on the experiments, research and captivity, as well as the escaping of the Xenomorphs. You can find tons of these items, as well as trophy belts when you're a predator, and effluvia canisters as the alien. There's also a bonus collectible where you need to harvest all the civilians in the game. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. Fuck. Once I meet up with Tequila, I get the classic Aliens pulse rifle, which they've done a really good job in the aesthetics as well as the sound design. This baby packs 100 bullets per mag. Hudson would be proud.
Fucking A. Oh, hold on.
Tequila tasks you with helping out a squad trapped in a club trying to turn off the power, and the music, the bright lights and the noise are all attracting the never-ending waves of Xenomorph. Once we get there, there's not a sound that can be heard. All of a sudden... Great, so now the elevator's been destroyed, we have to survive a horde of aliens while Tequila finds a way to get us out of here via another route. I eventually escape and relink with another squad holding out above the sewers.
Which rear echelon motherfucker ordered us to retreat into a dead end?
I've got to say, playing as the Marine in this game, I get a lot of Aliens vibes, which is exactly what I wanted. It's arguably the best Alien film in the franchise, because it was believable, terrifying, and intense, much like the experience I'm getting in this level, for example. It seems pretty obvious to me that Rebellion used a lot of their references, sources, and creativity from the Alien films, which I'm glad they did, because people loved those movies. Some of them. And if you take bits from the things people love and use them correctly, you're gonna have a decent games for fans to enjoy. So shit hits the fan and the squad members are dead. Again, either the rookie has a guardian angel or he's a fucking jinx. I do love this bit of running as fast as you can, as an unlimited amount of aliens will keep spawning until the player reaches a certain point. This is a 2010 game, so back then, game developers never knew you could have unlimited sprint. I'm glad they kept that though, because the map and the area is too small for you to constantly sprint. The mission will be over too quickly, therefore it would ruin the tension. Then eventually get caught and dragged away, which actually came as a bit of a shock when I first played this. I generally thought I didn't run fast enough, and this is the game's way of drawing out a long ass for death, but fortunately it's actually part of the story. With the first Marine mission complete, I'm starting to realise that the Marine campaign will be the longest, with the Alien being the shortest, as that Marine mission alone took longer than both the Alien missions did put together. We have been the Prey, and we have been the Survivor. Now let's take a look at the Hunter. The Predator has the most complicated controls out of all three characters. I'm not saying it's too difficult to learn, but it is by far the more detailed, and the kind if you want to play this character, you will need to pay attention, which is why there is literally a whole level dedicated to just a tutorial. Nothing else happens in this level, so I'm going to skip the rest and head straight to the official first mission for the Predator, which is the jungle. The opening scene is during the same time as the Marine campaign from the Predator's perspective. Once the Milo is destroyed, this time we see 3 dropships being sent down to the planet to contain the outbreak and spread of misinformation. You start off as a predator called Dark, a new blood as it were, with your first objective to take out a patrol up ahead. This is a good time to get familiar with the options given to you. Camouflage is your go-to feature, which lasts an unlimited amount of time but requires power each time you activate it, which you can gather from generator nodes. In previous entries, the Predator would have 1 claw, which is the classic look, but this game you have 2, which is better for quick attacks and strong attacks and can help balance against other classes. The only other weapon at my disposal at this current stage is the shoulder cannon that locks onto my enemies. Again, very good, but requires power, so I can't go too gun happy with it. I do like the Predator class so far. There's lots of options and ways to play. For example, I can taunt my enemies.
3, 5, 3. Come on, you awesome freak. Over there!
On my way.
If you're good at being patient and stealthy with your tactics, then this class is for you. Though that kind of gameplay is my lesser of two worlds, it's nice to actually give it a try regarding if I succeed in it or not. Later on I discovered the body of one of my fallen comrades. I'm guessing this Predator was one of the 2 I saw earlier that came down in the dropships. Just like the old classic Predator move, to stop the humans from using the technology, I activate the self-destruct sequence on his wrist. What's never made sense to me is why build a pyramid on a planet filled with mistrusting humans in the first place? Yes, I guess back then humans weren't on this planet yet, but if this was a home planet to the Predators, let's say 100,000 years ago, couldn't they have just sort of destroyed the pyramid and moved on? That way they wouldn't need to keep coming back and clean up the mess of the aliens and the mistrusting humans. That must have been the worst weekend for them, especially if they were short-staffed. Yes, predators do enjoy a good hunt, which each to their own, but I'm just saying, if you're so worried about the use of your own technology, cut out the middleman and don't build pyramids on other people's homeworlds. The rest of the mission is pretty decent, very similar to the alien colony level. You're in a compound, kill anything that moves, or you can sneak through. Either way, you need the head of the captain to gain access further into the military complex. I like the first mission being the setting of a jungle, and that goes for the other 2 campaigns. Yes, the aliens and the human campaign are both similar environments to begin with. Those are the types of environments you picture when you think of Marines and aliens. Dark, vulnerable places, long tunnels for crawling, and destroyed bits of equipment and technology, which is pretty much the setting of the film Aliens, which is a major success. They couldn't do that with the Predator, that'd be too similar to the other 2 and the game would suffer for it being very boring and repetitive. So using a different environment completely and having Marines in squads with no damaged equipment or tech and having them more confused than vulnerable as to what the hell is out there other than xenomorphs and start asking questions of doubt toward one another.
We don't know who or what they are, and their weapons sure as hell kick the shit out of ours.
The comparison is so similar, yet so far apart. Rebellion must have used Predator as their source to capture what it must have felt like in that movie, and is all the better for it. I watch any of these films and want to play the game. That's when you know the game's done really well. Now, if you thought the assassinations for the aliens were gory, you haven't seen nothing yet. So I find the last brother who also didn't make it and activate his wrist blade and kill the rest of the marines in this area, making trophies out of them. Which, for those of you who aren't familiar with this genre, predators decapitate humans, aliens, any form of enemy in a hunt and have their head with a vertebrae sometimes as a trophy to show they were victorious in battle. That mission was neat. Nice open area, plenty of vantage points to choose from. I could take my time, plan my strategy and hide in my camo, not needing to worry about it running out and exposing me. To me, the Predator is well balanced. It isn't too overpowered or too rigidy, and the more you play it, the better you get, especially as you progress more into the levels, you get more gear and more weapons. Alright, back as a Xenomorph. This time we find ourselves surrounded by the core engineers and marines in a very small, laid out area filled with lights, turrets and old bits of equipment. I like the scenery a lot, and also I kind of like how I'm not completely lost or disorientated when playing the alien in this game, in which I used to be when playing older versions of this franchise. Of course it does help with updated graphics and lighting, but the sense of direction is clear, which I guess some players don't like for their games because it becomes too linear. For example, follow the marker X, Y and Z. But for me, when you're playing a character that can move on any surface and you're going to be upside down, left, right and center with camera angles, you want to be as focused as possible, otherwise you're jumping all over the place without knowing where you're actually going. Anyway, the first room I managed to clear, and believe it or not, I did a pretty good job of not being detected.
Don't tell me that, goddammit!
It's true what he's saying, Bob.
Bullshit! Bullshit!
I figured I kind of broke the game, sort of. For example, I stealth kill a marine, then jump to the ceiling. Stealth kill another marine, then jump to the ceiling. And I just repeat this process. Depending on what way you look at it, at the end of the day,
Some may call this
Lazy game mechanics.
this mission has had a good start. So far, it's been very entertaining. Oh dear lord. Oh, jumping sequence activated.
What can we do to keep the player invested in our game? Add a mini game. You're a fucking genius.
This next bit took me a few tries, but once you know it like the back of your hand, you can get past it very quickly. I just wish sometimes the Marines weren't scripted with the same voice actors and lines.
Don't let your guard down. Don't relax just yet. Don't relax just yet, Marine.
Don't relax just yet.
disappointed!
Because it kind of reminds me of Bethesda games, and there's not a single time in those games where I don't feel like I'm out of the immersion because it happens so frequently. Anyway, I clear out the rest of the Marines and miners and find an exit to start exploring the outside and more of the refinery.
Oh my god, this is the best bit ever, alright? Oh my god. I don't believe this.
Who designed the alien missions? Did they have to make each chapter so goddamn short? Jesus. Anyway, we enter the jungle area of the planet and I start to realise that you'll pretty much do each location in the game playing as each different species, just at different times. The level is actually pretty good. For the first time as the alien, you have a huge wide open space to play in, but you're now easier to spot because you're in daylight, but this makes it pretty much more balanced. The first objective is fairly simple. I have to take out the radio tower to stop the survivors from calling in reinforcements or evac. I also take out some marines guarding it. Whilst on the way, I notice a civilian lock himself in one of the buildings.
Don't relax just yet, Marine.
One thing I did notice is when you have a group of 3 Marines, you think to yourself, this is barely any to fight. It's actually quite challenging to fight and kill all 3 Marines at once, because you take so much damage and can be easily killed. So, you have to plan your strategy pretty well and kill each one individually by distracting them. Made me feel pretty good once I killed all 3, because I had to take my time with it and not go in guns a-blazing like you can do with the Marine.
Surprise, motherfucker.
The next area is the compound we entered before as the Predator, and the Marines trick you into a building and lock the doors and get ready to burn you alive, so you have to be quick and destroy the lights to have the advantage of not being seen and surprise attack them. I thought this was pretty cool. Again, it's scripted, you can't go any further into the game without this sequence being activated, but still for a 2010 game, it's done pretty good, especially for its time. And besides, in all honesty, I forgot it completely happened, so it came to a bit of a shock to me, so it was pretty fun. Anyway, I grabbed the captain, same as the Predator, so some of the mechanics stay the same. Oh shit! Touche, Rebellion.
Fuck you.
Anyway, once I destroy the terminal, I kill the rest of the Marines hunting me down and head back to the hive. That level was the best level for the Aliens campaign so far. It gave me plenty of options in which ways to play, it was full of surprises, and it had interesting scenarios. And it had a decent length to it as well. All in all, I actually enjoyed myself playing that level. Here we are at the ruins, the last mission chapter for the Aliens campaign, in which we start off killing the droids we encountered at the first level, which are slightly tougher and can now counterattack your grabs if not timed correctly. The core Marines don't know or haven't yet found this hidden facility surrounding the pyramid, so they won't be around in the rest of this level. Our first objective is to activate 3 pressure plates that will gain us hidden access into our compound in order for me to destroy the power source and enable me access into the next area, in which I have my very first encounter with a Predator. I get that Predators are stronger than Aliens, which is why you usually have more Aliens versus the individual Predator, rather than just 1v1, although you do see that from time to time. But it would be nice to have more Predators throughout the Alien campaign. I mean, you see loads of Aliens as the Predator. Why not have it the other way around too? Just have new bloods who aren't as strong as these two. That way you have more options to play with. And since Rebellion didn't put a huge amount of gameplay time into the Alien chapters, this may have changed that for the better. Well, better late than never, I get myself 2 Preds to fight. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Let's do this. Where are you going? No, don't run away again. Oh, what is this fighting tactic you got going on here, Mo Farah? Finally, that's one. Where's Usain Bolt? God, this is tedious. Just get back here and just fight me. Ugh, finally. Now that the 2 Predators have both been killed, we have to fight one more. An elite Predator. This boss fight is exactly what I wanted from the first 2 Predators, which I guess now they were new bloods. But at least with the elite Predator, it doesn't run away constantly, it's always attacking you. In fact, sometimes I needed to run away to get my health back up and attack again. In terms of the 2 Predators at the start, that was an awful boss fight. I remember that being so much better than what it was. I know I have it on normal, so it may differ in higher difficulties, but come on man. Having the player chase you like a game of cat and mouse. These are over 500-pound Predators, armed to the teeth, and all they do is run, turn, shoot or hit, then repeat. I like the elite boss fight. The interactions you get to do each time, you try and harvest them. He can fight back and do a nice little counter attack. Plus, each time you do it, it takes some of their health off. But apart from that, I really didn't enjoy this sequence that much. We move on to find the rookie being dragged away by an alien who gets an unfortunate surprise. I think the cliffhanger and surprise of being dragged away was pretty cool in the first mission, but for it just to end like, oh, he shoots himself free right at the start of this mission, it is a bit anticlimactic. Tequila gets in contact with us and is just as surprised as the player that in all that time being dragged away, the rookie hasn't been face-hugged or just killed. If the player isn't shocked, this is the game's way of saying, bro, how are you still breathing? This is to make the player feel inclined to feel amazed we managed to survive, which is very silly. This scenario didn't go anywhere in this level, so there wasn't much point except from the cliffhanger from the previous level. It would have been better if the Marine had woken up in a hive and is about to get face-hugged and shoots it just before it latches onto the face. That's a good way to introduce the enemy type.
Hello there.
Or even the same intro at the start, showing off different stages of how the alien gets a human from point to point. Or you can actually have the Marine face-hugged and wake up from it and have to find some sort of cure or complete objectives before the time runs out. Yes, this would mean it would be a repeat of the Aliens 2000 Marine storyline, but it still would have had more of an impact with the cliffhanger than just to say, oh yeah, the alien just gets shot with the pistol which appeared out of nowhere and the rookie managed to escape. Anyway, our first objective is to find the Major, and on the way we meet some little friends. Each time they attempt to grab you, you have the chance to push them away, but if you don't keep an eye on your health bar, they can insta-kill you. So be sure to stock up on stims and keep your health bar above 1. I move further into the hive and find another weapon, which is the shotgun.
I'd like to keep this handy for close encounters.
I find the Major and he's been hived and we're told to shoot him. But I really didn't feel any kind of emotion for the guy. He says, rookie, ah shit. As in, just his luck it's the rookie here to save him. Even though that's out of the question and I end up killing him and burning the new xenomorph.
Just do it, rookie.
Anyway, once I deal with the rest of the aliens, I move on. And what do I find in the next area? That's right, the fucking queen of the aliens already. I was not expecting this. I mean, yeah, sure, kind of obvious as I'm in the hive, but maybe another level down the line, instead of finding her straight away. The boss fight is pretty, what's the term? Non-existent. I mean, I had a lot of fun killing aliens, making sure no facehuggers attacked me, whilst activating levers which will burn the queen and ignite the convenient barrels next to her for me to shoot and blow her up to Kingdom Come.
Didn't work!
I found this part still quite intense, and the aliens do start to overwhelm you if you're not quick enough, and you've got to ration your stims carefully, which is all the things you need in a boss fight, but in this case, without the boss fight itself. Why couldn't the Queen just stop shitting out eggs and start fighting the Marine? I've got a feeling that someone at Rebellion probably suggested that, and I think everyone else just went, are you crazy? That's so stupid and unrealistic. Let's burn her while she sits there and does nothing. Yeah, because that makes sense. I just think there was a missed opportunity here regarding the Queen that would have been an awesome boss fight at Chapter 2, giving the player fucking no chance to be ready to be more exciting, intense, and most importantly in a boss fight, fucking challenging. As the rookie, we burn the Queen and exit the area of Call of Duty 2007 campaign level design style.
What the hell kind of name is so?
Then we see the effect of this to number 6.
No, don't kill her. This one's an old friend. Secure the specimen for off-world transportation.
That's a good way to end 6's character arc. Now, wouldn't it have been cool to play as the Alien Queen? I mean, why not? We needed more gameplay time from that campaign anyway. There's just so many missed opportunities in this game that really do bug me. I think for the most part it's a very good game and I've had a lot of fun playing it, but every time I come back to it I realise how short the game time is in some parts. How not thought out the story game development was back in 2010. That mission only had 2 significant parts. I'm not even going to count the start because that was just a quick sweep under the rug, rookie you saved, carry on. The major I didn't really know, but I didn't also really care, but it was part of the story and develops the rookie's character arc, I suppose. Then the quote-unquote boss fight at the end. So all in all, if you ask me, did I enjoy that level 10 years ago, I would have told you I loved every second of it. I found it frightening, intense, and enjoyable. If you ask me if I enjoyed that level now, I would say it's lazy. Have the player feel a connection with the major before putting your bullet into him, and have the Queen Alien actually fight you to make it actually intense, not a child's perspective of intensity, as it's marginally and significantly different than an older person's. The level starts with the same Pred Alien we saw last time, in our sights as we pursue it on a hunt. That's all the player gets for now, until later, so we're back to killing some Marines around a guard post at the refinery.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here.
As I make my way inside, I notice the Marines huddled together, ready for an attack. Now, as the player, you can sit here in the corner in your camouflage and leave the Marines and aliens to kill each other. You can intervene straight away, or do what I did and let them start fighting each other first, then finish them off later. That's good game design. Simple but effective, letting the player choose what to do in this scenario. I mean, for all I care, you can sprint away entirely and avoid that conflict altogether. Anyway, I walk into the next room and find the Alien Queen dead, just after the rookie left, and the Predator on the comms is like, "What? What the fuck?" Apparently a lot of Predators have died, however the ship just arrived, so you've got to explain that to me, Rebellion, because I am somewhat confused. But my confusion is put to sleep as I don't give a shit, because for the next 10 minutes I'ma throw this disc around like a frisbee and kill me some aliens. It's kind of tricky to get the hang of first time you try it, but after a while it becomes really easy to use, and it's a nice combination with incapacitating an alien, if not killing it, giving you time to attack with the wrist blades or plasma cannon. With the refinery almost ready to blow due to the damage the rookie did earlier, there's a fire blocking the way, so I have to hit the water pipe to cool the fire whilst defending myself against aliens. This part was actually quite challenging, and it took me a while to figure out what I had to do, but once I did, I felt like it was satisfying. I just got out of there in the nick of time. Yeah, it's scripted to say the least, but I got to kill more aliens by throwing my disc at them and fight my way through to escape, instead of a move camera escape Call of Duty enhanced cockfair experience like the rookie had in his level after defeating the Queen in a non-boss fight kind of way. I enjoyed that level. I do kind of feel now we need to stop finding dead Predators and actually find some alive ones we can hunt with. That would probably be more entertaining than repeating the same game mechanic for the 3rd time. But I liked it. I got my new weapon, and killing aliens is always fun, as the Predator especially. Okay, so this is the 3rd time now of me playing another level in the same area. For example, I've been at the refinery 3 times and twice in the colony. I get it, these 3 characters' story link in together, but at different times, which can have an effect on each other. For example, earlier I destroyed the communications tower as 6, but now as the rookie, hours later, in-game obviously, not in real life. I have to get it back online. I do like this method of storytelling because I know as the player certain things that are happening or have happened around each character. Such as earlier when I walked in as the Predator and the Predators were all like, "What? What the f-?" But because I had already seen, better yet done all the damage previously, me as the player was like, meh. But it was interesting to see the response I had on the Predators. What? What the fuck? That being said, if you played the game in a random order of your choice, you may get confused, but at the same time be like, oh shit, the Queen's dead? How did that happen? Then like an hour later, you're already burning her as the rookie. This campaign design has its pros and cons essentially. It's different and I'm overall happy with it, but wouldn't want to see it in every game, but it is nice now and then. Anyway, I pick up another weapon, which is the sniper rifle that I definitely undervalued and underappreciated when I played this years ago. This gun is OP as I get the tower back online and it's working again and awaiting my evac, which was sudden, but to be fair, not surprising for Rebellion with how quickly they wrapped up the Alien campaign. But in all seriousness though, it's crazy to think the majority of people believe this is to be a 3-hour long campaign, and even that's too short. But in reality, for someone who hasn't played the game in over a decade, I completed it in just under an hour. Dude, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm trying not to dwell on the game time too much, but if you decide to play the game, be sure to drag the Alien campaign out as much as possible. If you play it in the order suggested to me, you'll find yourself playing the second and third act of the game with only 2/3 of the main 3 characters. But oh no, a predator shoots the ship down with a plasma blaster and our girl Tequila has crash landed somewhere and I have to go and rescue her somehow. This is when we learn of a new character called Katya. She was the one that actually signalled the Marine Corps to come to the planet in the first place when the alien outbreak occurred. She offers a proposal to help me find Tequila if I do something for her first, so I get the power back online and retrieve the data she needs. I don't actually think I was meant to shoot him, but even he was like, fuck that, he's got the nuke sniper rifle. Parts of this game was definitely not play tested, I don't think, and Rebellion should have nerfed this gun. But hey, why am I complaining? I am one satisfied customer. Anyway, the files she now has access to reveal more on what Wayland is doing down here on this planet in the first place, and has the location of where the pyramid is being hidden from by Weyland-Yutani. We get to what appears to be a hefty door and get a little jump scare from one of the locals. This tells me I'm gonna be fighting these guys a lot from now on.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
That was an alright level. Not much happened, but not a lot needed to happen, as it's a build up to what's coming, which is good. I enjoyed traversing the jungle as the Marine. I felt much smaller than playing as the Predator or the Alien. For example, they are bigger, faster, and can reach higher ground quickly. But as the Marine, you feel smaller, which felt different, which is good. Alright, back as the Predator. I find myself out of the hive and at the ruins of the Predator Pyramid and have to activate 3 switches to proceed to the next area, and my god, do I suck at this platform jumping shit. I don't ever remember it taking me this long to work out how to get to the top in time, and I just keep missing my jump, slipping and then falling down each time I do it. This took me a pathetic amount of time, to the point where the Pred started taking the piss. Once I got to the top, we get a dope mask which shows the first ever battle between the Preds and the aliens, with the alien queen defeated, being carried by the pack's leader and thrown to the ground as a sign of victory. Gee, wouldn't it have been swell to actually fight the alien queen? I now have the ability to see the aliens clearly, which is neat, but I mean, the first time you play as the Predator in the original game, you could have all the layers of visuals to detect all your enemies, but in this one, I had to play 3 chapters to get a whole new mask for just 1 extra visual. It's useful, don't get me wrong, but again, a bit anticlimactic. Still looks dope though. As I proceed to the pyramid, I find the crash ship Tequila was in earlier with no sign of her, only a few dead soldiers around the crash site. The next area looks all too familiar. Instead of activating 3 pressure plates, I have to activate 3 Predator lookalike switches to gain access to the next area. This is lazy game design. Getting the player to do the same thing, just with a different switch. Come on. Have me jump over more shit. Like, I know I'm rubbish at it, but it's different. I'm playing a different character. Give me different. So I go through to the next area, and like the last time I have to have a boss fight, and this time it's with a huge alien. It's not the Pred alien we were hunting down earlier, it's just a biggish alien, and in my guess it's probably a Praetorian. I will say this, the boss fight was fun, and it was also challenging at first, but I got the hang of it towards the end, and it felt good to finally kill it along with all the other aliens fighting me. This does make me wonder how I ever managed to complete this on Nightmare. I would not have the patience to do it now. Definitely not. The Praetorian dead, I get my new final weapon, the classic Predator Spear, which is so freaking good and my favourite of all weapons, as it's 1-hit kill pretty much, which will help me with all the androids later on. Not a bad level towards the end, Good puzzle mini-game at the start, followed by some fun alien killing with a new Pred mask. Repetitive middle part, which was annoying, but ended on a not so bad boss fight. So all in all, not a bad level. Just as the Predator leaves, as the rookie, we follow behind into the ruins via a different route. I make my way through killing drones, which spit acid at you, as well as Wayland's androids, until we reach the crash site and get some backup. And hell, it's about time. After I clear out the aliens in the area, one of the Marines comes with me to help find Tequila. Yeah, help's a strong word.
I'm sorry, Private. You are alone.
Oh, really?
I get to the arena area, which is pretty inevitable now that I go into a boss fight pretty soon, to which I open this door. A predator versus a human? That's so unfair for this particular unfortunate Marine I am playing. Unless... what's this? The OP sniper rifle that's responsible for the deaths of many a species? So he goes down like a sack of shit, but I have fun shooting his ass.
My ass!
Would have preferred again to fight more predators in the game, but you play with the cards you dealt. So I enter yet another hive.
First time.
Watch out!
I find Tequila hived. She has been face-hugged. So we have to follow her at a walk speed with her needing to lean on something every now and then. I actually like Tequila as a character. She kind of reminds me of Vasquez from Aliens, but a little less violent.
Let's rock!
As much as this escort/follow NPC part is boring, long, non-entertaining and frustrating to me for it to be in a video game for this amount of time, it's more of a nitpick than anything. Plus, I do think Rebellion starters realise a lot of people, including myself, would have noticed how short each mission is, which is why I'm guessing this is their lazy way of making it longer. Follow NPC at a slow pace, all the way back out of the hive, through the arena, an area which you have been now 4 times at this stage to get to a door. Pretty much nothing else happens except you shoot some aliens here and there, but that's it. And it's the longer part of this level, but all you're doing is walking. I promise this game is fun, but at times even I can admit its stupidity. So I've been at this video for quite a while now, and the script is turning into a Tolkien-lengthened book, so let's cut to the chase. We enter the next facility, in which is a hidden lab owned by Weyland-Yutani. He warns us not to go any further and tries to persuade us to leave, and there being no harm done to us if we do so. We ignore him, and fight our way through to reach Katya, as she can help save Tequila from getting her chest bursted. However, once we arrive, Carl Bishop sees what we're trying to do, and puts a stop to it. This scene is actually quite tender, and it came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, and I like it quite a lot.
Just pray nobody notices the drain.
Katya, I should have known. These operations are vital to Weyland-Yutani's interests. Any attempt to compromise them is an act of sabotage, as per company directives.
Come on. Come on!
I knew you were a mistake, Katya. A faulty product line. Whatever you're doing there now, I'm shutting it down.
No. Mr. Weyland. Carl. Please.
You sent the distress call that brought the Marines here. That was contrary to the company's interests. Consider this an official reprimand.
Okay, Private. Get her to the stasis pod. It's her only chance. Hypersleep will keep the corporal alive until we can get her to a proper medical unit. It's all we can do for her right now.
Afterwards, we speak to Katya. She tells us the only way to get off the planet now is with the datapad, and the only one left is with Carl Bishop.
I'll prep the corporal for travel. You go to the pyramid and get that datapad. I'll rendezvous with you there. Oh, and Private. Say goodbye to Mr. Wayland for me, will you?
So I head out and find myself in a pretty sticky situation, with all the contained areas locked and secured earlier are now unlocked by Bishop to stop us from going any further into the facility.
Commerce, the lifeblood of human endeavor.
God, that's loud! I continuously keep getting threats by Bishop, then eventually have to have a boss fight with a Praetorian. But the sniper answers to no one. Afterwards, I make my way down the elevator to put a stop to Bishop once and for all.
Please, don't shoot. We haven't done anything wrong. There has to be some mistake. Ask Mr. Wayne. He'll tell you. Please, just talk to him.
With the new spear I got, I plunged through all the androids like a hot butter and a knife, boys. Rather than trying to kill me all the time, Bishop also tries to capture me.
Take this thing alive. I want its organs functioning when it gets to the operating table.
But I managed to easily escape. Weyland-Yutani stole the wrist bracer from the ancient pyramid, in which, after literally killing everything he has to throw at me, my guy straight up packs up his shit.
Do what you must then and leave as ignorant as you arrived.
I love how the next bit, all I have to do is kill 5 droids to reach the elevator, and I just go invisible, throw my spear at one, then repeat until they're all dead. And that takes like 2 minutes, easy to do. Just like the rookie, I head down the same elevator minutes behind him. Now, according to the guide, I need to play the human campaign's last chapter next, then finish on the Pred's story at the very end. But I believe it's more fitting to switch those last 2 levels around, as I find that way to be more clear and satisfying to me. This last area is gorgeous. I mean, who doesn't like finishing a mission on a lava level?
It just works.
I get a vision of the alien queen being chained by the predators of this pyramid years ago, and get the shock of my life when an actual alien attacks me with my guard down.
Fuck you.
I activate those 3 lovely switches again that just give such diversity, adaptation and dynamic gameplay. Coming from a new blood to a legendary elite predator, it is only befitting we set the nuke ready to blow this place, not before gathering some intel first, of course.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Wait, let's look at the guide. So the rookie is behind the predator. So why did the guide tell me to play the rookie going down the elevator before the predator earlier? I mean, that's how it's written here. This datapad is proof the rookie hasn't left the planet yet. So it is a good thing I switched the last levels at the end here. It appears to make more sense from a chronological standpoint. Anyway, moving on.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Once we set the nuke, we get attacked by the one and only Pred alien. That's right, the one we haven't seen in 3 whole chapters. This boss fight is different to any of the other ones, and I think it's good to actually have a decent boss fight in a different area this time and environment rather than the same arena 3 times. The Predator alien does a lot of damage, so you've got to be careful and try to be very defensive at first. Every so often it will jump away, then jump right back at you and attack you. When it does flee, a cutscene comes up with it jumping left and right, causing the pyramid to tumble and deconstruct, even more so than it already is. When it comes back, you spawn in the middle of the fighting area no matter where you were originally, before the cutscene. Which I get why, it's because Rebellion probably gave you all this room to jump around in and fight the boss in different ways and methods. But honestly, it's a lot easier and less stressful to just stay in the first part you began with, because there's so much space and it's more secure. Funny thing that happened when I did this boss fight, I put some mines down which I've never used at this point, and the Pralien was on like 2/3 of health, and then all of a sudden I'm shown a cutscene of its death.
Bruh.
Anyway, I dealt her out of there into my new pred ship with my homies taking the knee at my awesomeness, and we fly away while the pyramid is blown to shit and look at a map showing the homeworld of the aliens, indicating an even better sequel. Oh yeah, fuck. Alright, so here we are, the very last level of the game, and boy, that's a lot of aliens coming towards me. So let's get the turret online and grab a smart gun and shoot the shit out of all of them. And we get a surprise boss fight with 2 Praetorians, which I now guess aren't bosses anymore. Hey, what were you thinking about getting an actual boss fight in the middle of the bridge? No, Todd was working over the weekend and he came up with just 2 Praetorians. Yeah, they were like a mini boss or actual boss fight earlier, on 2 occasions actually, but fuck it, just put 2 of them in. That should do it really. There should be quite a challenge actually. I don't know if they're as tough as they were before because they don't have a health bar. Maybe Rebellion just did think fuck it and add more game time to it, which fair enough at this stage. Be that as it may, it was more fun and it was challenging. More challenging than the 2 predators I fought earlier. Well, I say fight, I chased earlier. I should have just used a sniper on these aliens, as the smart gun was very effective in hordes, but it's not very good when it comes to bigger targets. I get across the bridge and Bishop invites me to have a little chat with him. I'm guessing at this point Dark is already activating the nuke. We get a look at what our fearless rookie looks like.
Private, glad to meet you, finally. I've been monitoring your progress. I knew you'd make it this far. You're a survivor. Like the hunters that once ruled this planet. Like the xenomorphs they stalk.
And I gotta admit, he's got bruises and scratches. He's been through a lot, and he looks hella badass, which I feel they needed to show him maybe earlier in the game, but at least now I know what the character I'm playing looks like. With our friend down below causing a bit of ruckus, it causes a bit of a shockwave, allowing me to break free from gunpoint and chase Bishop.
We're old friends, the Corps and I. In fact, you might say I own it. That means I own you. And when a corporate asset is no longer of use, I dispose of it. Deal with him.
I must have had every gun I needed quickly to finish this guy off, and I nearly did. The game does an Uno reverse card on me and does a checkpoint by the door, and all I have is my fucking pistol. What? What the fuck? Where are my guns? So I get pretty much arse rammed more than, well, this. I eventually do kill him and grab the data pad, but hold on, he's still alive. Jesus Christ. Now you gotta shoot him in the face, which is actually harder to do depending on the difficulty, but in my case right now it's not too bad because it's only on normal. And because of, you know, lava level design, he falls into it.
and it just works.
Then we're treated with a high quality CGI cutscene that looks hella dope even for 2010. The last thing we see is Katya and the rookie, and also Tequila in hypersleep, with the mistrusting pilots talking to someone about the specimen is safe and aboard. Oh shit, is he talking to— that's right, another Carl Bishop, looking right at the camera saying the worst thing you can imagine.
Aliens, colonial marines.
You know what, not too bad ending for the Marine campaign. Better yet, this had a good ending to all 3 campaigns. Yet, however, there is no sequel to carry on the story. That's pretty much it for the campaign. There were things I really enjoyed revisiting in terms of the gameplay, like using the smart gun, the spear, the boss fight against the elite predator as the alien, some of the cutscenes, parts of the story development, the overall feel of playing an AVP game again, that's more up to date and visually more stunning than some of the older ones. Be that as it may, there were quite a bunch of stuff that pissed me off more than a bull in a china shop with a fucking red wallpaper. One major improvement for me needed in this game is the gameplay itself, especially for the alien campaign, and some of the boss fights, as some were passable at best, with only a couple of half decent ones. All in all, I had so much fun replaying this game again and capturing the footage for this review. Now, the multiplayer is pretty much non-existent. That is, if you want to play a ranked match. If you want to fuck about with your buddies and not too fussed about the progression system, then by all means, there's plenty of matches waiting for you in the player match menu. But one thing I did enjoy about this game was the progression system online, which you only get in ranked matches, which for some reason no one, and I mean absolutely no one, wants to play in. I must have waited for a good 25 minutes for a match and got nothing. From memory, when you played a match, the more kills you got, the more XP you would get, depending on the game mode and the map size. The higher your level, the more skins you would get. That's right, kids, back in 2010 you had to earn skins in games, rather than loot boxes or battle passes. The skins for the Marines were good, the alien skins were remarkable, the skins for the Predators, oh my god, were out of this fucking world. The multiplayer gameplay was so much fun, more so for the aliens and predators, in which the game would choose if you're going to be a human, predator or alien. You can then only choose after that what skin you would like for that game. The close combat system I liked a lot, and they hit the nail on the head with it. When you hit an enemy a few times, you can do a grab and finish them off, but if you didn't hit them hard enough, or as much as you should have, they can counterattack it. If you got someone from behind, however, that's a game over, no chance to counterattack. How simple is that game mechanic? It's so simple, and it's so much fun. Most games now add so many mechanics to it and techniques, because they feel the more you add, the more fun it will be. Essentially that can happen, but sometimes it can get just too confusing, frustrating and long in the tooth, and not fun at all. If you just keep it nice, plain and simple, people playing your game are going to have more fun. The maps were great, ranging from external to more internal sizes, with being in close cornered mines to an open up cave. The game types range from typical deathmatch, everyone v everyone, species team deathmatch, which is the classic predator versus aliens versus humans working together. You had infestation, which is like a survival game mode you could get XP from, with you and your bodies fighting off one alien to begin with, which can change quite quickly, as when you die you become an alien, you got to kill your original teammates. My favourite game mode out of all of them has to be mixed species TDM. Running as a marine with a predator and alien by your side, covering your back, is all this motherfucker needs to have a good Friday night. So all in all, I had a lot of fun playing this game. Would I recommend this game to anyone? 100% yes. But all in all, it's a great game, just with a few minor hiccups throughout the storyline. Not storyline. Story length! Anyway, that's all I got time for today, folks. Please don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to hit that subscribe button, as I work tiresomely hard to get these videos out and they take a very long time. Also, click on any of these videos if you fancy another review. Feel free to stick around for probably the best credits theme tune I've ever heard in my entire life playing any game. This is the only game I can think of besides Halo 2 and 3 that I never skip the credits, because the music is beautiful and it makes you reflect on the game and the characters you've played. If that piques your interest, then stick around for the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. This has been The Gamer Life. Until the next time, bye bye.